manhood, as we have inherited it and live it, starts with a mountain of debt. The debt of manhood starts at every boy's birth. Manhood, therefore, as I understand it, is limited, defined, and structured by every man's procreative debt. In civilized society, manhood is a reproductive transaction that becomes a social cage for natural man, which pre-exists his existence. Man is born and immediately enters this procreative jail built by patriarchy and his ancestors, and he has no honorable way out of it. So manhood is the codification of patriarchy's norms, and man is patriarchy's enforcer. Very few men actually become patriarchs, and they pay a very high price for it. So everyone is a victim of patriarchy, and power demands a pound of flesh from the men who get it. They have no actual love and intimacy. They're not permitted freedoms. From the beginning of civilized conscious time, man has suffered from this kind of like existential insecurity, and it was only when man like separated body from mind enough to give the mind primacy over the body that he actually realized that he could control things by the stuff that he would invent. So to make up for his procreative inadequacy, let's say, he created all these like, mythical traditions and sources of meaning, collective meaning, and virtual realities, and money, of course, and laws, and words, and tax credits, and incentives. And he has been forced to buy love for thousands of years. He's overdoing it now because none of it is necessary anymore. So, but it all starts from the procreative act, right, the reproductive act. Why does man feel indebted to the woman who carries his sperm, right, his seed, and why is he compelled to repay her with a dwelling, with financial support for life, with everything else? Attention, why does he reenact every time he has sex with a fecund woman this pantomime of, paid procreation? And this happens even with like sugar babies and sugar daddies, and all these dynamics of like men owning women's wombs or paying for sex with understanding, which is now thousands of years old, that sex will lead to procreation, which is really no longer what sex does or is for, right? So, and in this way, women are also trained to understand financial support as love, and spending a man's money as a way, as proof that she's honored or loved, right? So all of this justifies our mutual lack of authentic choice, because it's actually the purchase of choice. And without choice, we're slaves again. That's where you get people like Epstein, right? Where they feel they can only feel their power by buying people, by buying consent. Buying sex is really about buying freedom, the freedom of choice, as it happened with wombs in patriarchy. Buying sex confirms the unreal power of men that's represented by money, to buy anything and anyone, to buy willpower, conscience, allegiance, right? To kind of like seduce everyone. But in fact, love, authentic love, cannot be bought. Just a moment's pleasure can be bought, right? So how can we let men off this procreative hook and let them find themselves and free themselves? Well, the way to do it is to allow women to be householders, procreative women, not working women, but women who are mothers, right? Because we can't be equal as long as the men are doing the paying. So what do they need for their money and their hard work that earned them that money? They just want to feel included. And I feel that feminism failed to support men, failed to separate sex from money, meaning sex from patriarchy's procreation in the greater society and its structures and its incentives. Women are still encouraged, liberal women, to find a man rich enough, which is not liberating, to take care of them. You know, the rich older man thing, a relationship in which money becomes a substitute for love is not natural, and it's not authenticating or liberating any of us. So if we were to fund mothering independently, we would liberate men and we would take the money out of love. Imagine that.